guys, and welcome back to another show with the Crafty Hook. And again, my name is Nona, and I am the creator of the channel. Tonight, I wanted to do another cooking video. And first off, have you ever had a barbecue and you wanted the rib, ended up wanting to cook the ribs in that, and they just didn't come out quite as tender and juicy and moist as you had expected? Well, I came up with a plan, I learned something, and I want to share it with you to come out with the most tender, fall off the bone ribs. So don't go away. Okay, previously when I used to make my ribs and that, I just had a really hard time not getting them just the right tenderness. I would boil them in water and that before I put them on the grill, and I've tried just about anything. Now, don't get me wrong, they were pretty good, but they just weren't quite tender enough, at least for our opinion. So I came up and I went and started watching different people and that used an Instapot. And I'm going to show you what I learned and how I made these fall off the bone tender, barbecued, all of that. So what we have here tonight, I have 4 things of ribs here. I went ahead and already seasoned them with a little bit of steak seasoning, garlic salt, and some pepper. And of course I have my handy dandy little Instapot here. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go step by step on what I do to be able to get these to come out just right and nice and tender. So the first thing I do is I set up my pot. I make sure that the liner is in my pot, and I also have the rack down in there because you don't want the meat touching directly on the bottom of the pot. I've kind of learned that if you leave the rack in there and you lift the meat up a little off the bottom of the pot, it don't stick as easy, for one, and for two, it doesn't overcook on the meat that's on the bottom. Okay, first off, I have about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of water. I'm going to pour that right into the pot. You kind of want it to where it's right at the bottom of the rack, because you don't want to submerge all the meat into the water, so I usually do it right below that top part of that rack. Okay, and then I just take my ribs and I just stack them nicely in the bottom. Or you can actually wrap it inside there as well, whatever is easier for you. Okay, so I stacked all 4 of those right inside the pot. So as you can see, they're kind of crisscrossed and stacked just to give a little bit of circulation while it's cooking. Okay, so I have about, like I said, about 2 cups of water in the bottom. I stacked the meat in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and place my lid on here. So I got my lid on here. Make sure it's in lock position. And again, as the last video, you want to make sure that the little venting knob is in, not on venting, but sealing. Because you want to seal in all of that steam. Okay? So I go ahead again and I press the pressure cooker. Now I usually do these for about 28 to 30 minutes depending on how many little racks of ribs I have in there. So I'm going to take this on up to about, I think I'm going to go 29 minutes this time. And then I hit that start button. Okay, now it's telling you that it's on and it's on high. It takes about 10 minutes for the steam to build up inside of the pot. And then it'll start counting down that 28 minutes. Once it counts down, the timer will go off. You'll kind of hear like a beep noise on the front of the machine. And it keeps it warm for a few minutes until you're able to release all the steam in that. Once it releases all that steam in that. So we're going to let this cook for the 28 minutes, and then I will check back with you and we'll see how they come out. Okay, so as you can kind of hear in the background, I am currently releasing the steam on the pot. So The last video I did, I stood next to the pot and you could barely hear me over the steam. So I just went ahead and flipped it over and it is released in the steam. But we're going to check that here in just a moment. Okay, so I just got them out of the Instapot and I put them on a cookie sheet. I set the oven to 375. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some barbecue sauce all over those ribs. So I'm just kind of coating them really good with the barbecue sauce. And I already got the other side, so now I'm just kind of getting them all over this side here. So it looks like they are pretty covered. Okay, so it looks like I got them all pretty covered. Okay, now I'm going to just pop them in the oven at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so the timer went off and they are done. And as you can see, they're nice and tender. Bone just falls right off of there. And dinner is served. So you all, that is a pretty simple way of doing ribs as far as I'm concerned, because it took me a max of about 28, no, it was about 30 minutes total with the rice and the broccoli, everything. 30 minutes and I have dinner and fall off the bone ribs. So I hope that you all enjoyed the video. I hope that it's something that may help some of you out. Definitely try it out if you have an Instapot or when you get an Instapot. And let me know how it worked out for you. If you have any ideas of things that you do in the Instapot, definitely leave me a comment below. I'm always willing to learn new things and ways of doing different things. So again, guys, thanks for stopping by today. I'm glad you're all here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great night.